Okay, first of all, I want you to understand what is malice. So the entity just flew over by helicopter in the previous video. It's currently 3:22 p.m. The light source is directly over me, and it's remaining over the Fontana Transit Center. So this is all the pattern of conduct, but I want to give you the substance of this third party's audible activity. This is the same third party that drives by, which is crossing path under the light source. And while she crosses path, as I spoke to it was yesterday, I believe, the entity is flying over by helicopter, and engineered light moves across building 1810, the front of it, while she's driving by in her white Jetta. This is 1802, number 2. They're monitoring with the state. She comes and she's referencing the state, saying, "Oh, we went the sheriff's department that you are going to see group stalking in Los Angeles under a light source that's nowhere near Alvarado Gardens, by the way." And the entity is maintained. And I have more evidence against what LAPD was doing when it never anticipated that it was going to be caught square in the midst of a criminal conspiracy, engaging in state surveillance, because this entity is engaging in what is a dangerous game of checkers. Okay, when first of all, it's not a game, and there are very real consequences for what it's engaging in. Okay, well, they have been caught in doing what is amongst the secret society. LAPD is the secret society. Did you know that? That's a reality. So you've got a group stalker coming in. And the substance of this audible activity is actually a threat. I want to be clear. This is a third party in the environment. Audible activity is monitoring me. The entity just flew over by helicopter. The ordinary target individual is terrorized. Okay, so understand that. Let's lay that foundation. Second of all, the substance of her audible activity is that, the sheriff's department, she's applying to be a part of the sheriff's department. Let me be clear. It's fitting. They're demons. The entity is hiring the sheriff's department, the police departments. They're hiring the demon possessed, and they are engaging in state surveillance. And this is the reality. So the fact that that's her audible activity, I actually believe that. It's more than just the fact that she's monitoring me with it. It's more than the fact that it is reasonably construed as a threat coming out of the mouth of a third party engaging and monitoring in concert with the state. But it is also probative of what the entity is doing. These police departments, these sheriff's departments, they're hiring demons. That's how you have a whole person stalking in a helicopter. That's how you get that, by the way. That's a demented person, and you have a demented population committed to targeting American citizens, a specific condition. That one in particular, crossing path after LAPD just flew over by helicopter, and she just did the same thing again. LAPD flies over by helicopter, and she comes up and talks to me. All right, so Engineer Light, she's a demon. She's living at the venue. She's going to federal prison. The sheriff's department is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. And by the way, just because I'm documenting LAPD, it doesn't in any way remove the sheriff's department. Okay? This is, again, I'm showing what's going on in the state of California. Okay? So I just want you to understand it's not isolated. When you are understanding the nature of the system, LAPD is providing what is behavior that's in conformity to a long documented pattern of conduct of other quote-unquote random police departments doing the exact same thing under what is entirely impossible. Okay, it's not just the police department. I'm telling you what's going on in the state of California. Okay, but nonetheless, yes, I have been thorough enough to capture evidence of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department engaging in the pattern of conduct. Okay, yes, I do have that evidence, but you need to understand what I'm revealing to you is what's going on in the entirety of the state. I don't have to know the name of the police department in Northern California to know that they're engaged in monitoring. I don't have to know that. The entity is using an entire environment to surround you, suggesting that this is a demonic imitation of the environment. And all you have to do is pay attention to realize the fact that it's not the natural environment, that sunlight does not ricochet off of surfaces and onto the asphalt, and that the entity, it is very peculiar in that environment that the entity is pursuing people and remaining with helicopters day and night. While the people that also surround engaging in that demonic behavior, they like to call the police. Yeah, they like to do that. They like to make up information. They like to harass you. They get off on that. Okay, this is a pattern of conduct, and that's why they're going to federal prison. All right, there's sex offenders that know what you're doing inside of the private space. They know your social security number. They know how much money is in your bank account. They know all your passwords. They know what you're talking about when you go into the branch bank. All right, this is that secret society, and the sheriff's department and the police departments are the secret society. It's the state. It's the government. And she's referencing the sheriff's department stating, "Oh, well, can you give me the number? I'm the target individual they're monitoring, and they know what's been published on the internet about them. Can you give me," out of the mouth of a third party, okay? "Can you give me the number of," or the sheriff's department wants to know if they can have your number and your email, because we're doing, they need to verify the fact that I'm a good tenant, which is some unofficial, first of all, it's audible activity, but second of all, that's some unofficial one-off, unprofessional, just making up some sort of situation whereby they want to be present, first of all, and you're understanding that's communication of a threat. You're just going to analyze that. That's coming out of the mouth of a third party who's monitoring, referencing the state. All right, that's a threat of personalized presence. It's a, let me put it this way, it's a personalized, friendly veneer for what is the opposite of criminal summoning. Oh, I'm not calling the police on you to get you in trouble. I'm actually letting you know that they need to come in order to help me get a job with the sheriff's department. It's the inverse of the same pattern of conduct. How about that? And also the entity is engaging in what is psychopathic conduct. They know exactly who I am. The state is monitoring me. That's what I mean by psychopaths. And in that same video, when she comes and communicates that, the entity just got through flying over by helicopter. So you're under a light source that is present, setting in alignment to my apartment in the evening when it's rising in alignment to my apartment in the morning. There is nothing that the entity is doing under any circumstances that is going to confuse the federal government, who is understanding the body of evidence and understanding the state's pattern of conduct. Highly malicious, obsessed psychopaths who have demonic possession. That's what's wrong with them. Okay, but I want to be clear, even outside of demon possession, you make a choice. Every day you get up in your life and you make decisions, and you're going to be accountable for those decisions under federal law. Okay, so going around crying, well, let me be clear, the demon possessed don't want to admit that they're demon possessed. All right, but that's the reality. But even crying, oh, Satan made me do it, that's no excuse. Okay, they get up, they crawl up in these helicopters, they keep them gassed up for 24-hour surveillance. They choose to do that. That's a decision that they're making of their own volition, and the people of the state are deciding to cooperate in that criminal system. All right, they're not gaining any power; they're being exposed. They've been engaging in it for such a time as this, so that at this juncture in history, it is exposed what they've been doing for a prolonged period of time, and that having that level of confidence, arrogance, foolish arrogance and pride to continue when they have met the one who was going to expose and prosecute them. That's why they were able to get away with it for even one day. Not because it was ever going to succeed or that they were ever going to gain any territory. This is serving for what is a prosecution of a corrupt government. And this corrupt government serves Satan. I'm not going to mince words with you. They serve Satan, period. And the sheriff's department is coming and engaging in what is the communication of a threat. And I want to make sure I go out of my way to document that. Those are the same demons that are crossing paths. At the same time, the entity flies over by helicopter, communicating all manner of a threat, while you've got this illuminated light all over the place, appearing in the shade, the light source remaining over you all day long, the entity aiming engineered light inside of the office, and you're supposed to forget about all of that while they come and have a conversation with you. That's not how you're analyzing the pattern of conduct, and that's not a reasonable analysis of any crime, by the way. That's not even reasonable to do that. Okay, so it is currently 3:30 p.m. I want to make sure I document that. Okay, the sheriff's department, the law said any and everybody that wants to, you're all going to federal prison. You're all listening to me at the same time. I've been documenting from day one, and this is serving for what's going to be massive exposure and prosecution. And the fact that you will be subject to mental examinations as well, by virtue of that audible activity that this third party came to my face to communicate in concert with you while you're monitoring. Okay, so you proceed with caution. This is P.O.C.